Hello, good day. This is your Chapter 4 test. I'm Mr. Brooks. I'll be narrating this material to you. Thanks for joining. Good luck. Would you like me to continue in that Australian accent? Here we go. Solve the inequality and graph the solution. So you're just solving for x, and then you're graphing over here. Remember just the simple rules of if we are less than or greater than, it's going to be open dots, right? Greater than or equal to. If you got a little something extra under here, you give it a little something extra by filling that in. Okay. Also, don't forget the rule. If you multiply or divide a negative, this sign is going to flip around, okay? So, we're solving actually these first few in general. I'm going to zoom out here just a little bit. Remember that ands, if it is an and problem, your graph is going to point inward, and if it's an or, they're going out, like oars on a boat. Okay. Number 2 is pretty straightforward. You just have one inequality sign. Put a 1 in front of that negative x right there, and then get letters on one side, numbers on the other, and finish solving. Number 3, this is an and. It's a one where it's all combined together. You got 2 signs here. Make sure you pay attention to that. Get the x by itself in the middle. Remember, what you do on one side in the middle, you got to do to both sides. Okay. And number 4 is an or problem. So you're just going to solve each one of these, and then make sure you graph. Number 5 and 6, it says check whether this ordered pairs are a solution to this problem here. So you're just plugging in for x and y, and you want to see, is the number that you get on the left side bigger than 9? If it is, then it's a solution. If it's smaller than 9 or equal to 9, because there's no equal to underneath here, then it would be not a solution. And now page 2. So we're going to graph these inequalities on the coordinate grid. Okay, let's zoom in here a little bit. So on this one, you got x is less than or equal to 2, so it's crossing the x at 2. It's crossing right here. So which way is the line going? Also remember, is it a dashed line or a dotted line? It depends on this guy right here. It's just like your points. If there's nothing under it, it was open, that would be a dashed line. If there's something underneath the symbol, that'd be a solid dot or a solid line. Okay, and then we have down here circles. Is this a vertical line or a horizontal line? And is your line dashed or dotted? Number 8, very similar. The only difference here is we got it in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Identify the m, the slope, and the b, and then graph them. And then, of course, circle if it's a solid or a dashed line. Remember to start, always graph with b first, okay? And then take care of your slope. All right, kiddos. Got number 9. We want to graph this system, so you got to do some shading here. It's like a shady kind of thing. All right. So you have 3 lines here. This is in slope-intercept, this is in slope-intercept, this one is not. So that's going to mean that you need to move that over. So then you're going to have negative 2y is less than or equal to negative 1x plus 0, and then divide by negative 2. So now you're left with y, and I divide by negative, so I got to flip that sign around. 2 negatives make a positive, so 1/2 x, and it's just going to be plus 0. So identify the m and b for all of these. You're going to graph them, solid or dotted. And remember, if it's making you greater, then you're going to shade above because it's raising you up. If it's less than, it's pushing you down. You need to shave below your lines. Okay? Here's another one. It's not in slope-intercept, so you need to make it that way. So continuing here with this problem, I took a break here and now I kind of forget where I was. But this one, which is down here, I kind of started working and rearranging it for you. This equation, identify your M and B, it's already set up. But then just shade, okay? And finally, the bonus. We're going to use question number 9, so the one up above. It says, circle all the following points that are a solution. All right? And it's a bonus, so I'm not going to help you any more than that. All right? Good luck. If you have more questions, you know where to call. And my apologies. I was just assuming that was the last question because it's a bonus, and it's not. We got more. So here we go. You guys are probably like, what is the matter with this guy? Here we go. Solving the equations. We have inequalities. Remember, you got to break this into 2 problems. The first one's going to look just like this. The second one, remember, just change his sign. So you have 2 answers. On number 12, we want to get the group by itself first. So now we can split it into 2 problems. You get 4x plus 10 equals 2. Now take what I've written, break that into 2 problems. On number 13, we're going to write an absolute value equation. They give us the answer. So basically, you want to plot these points. Now you need to first find the midpoint. Okay, find the middle in between these. So your equation is going to be the absolute value of x minus whatever the midpoint is. I'll put mid there. Then is going to equal the distance that these guys are away from the midpoint. Just for example, let's say the midpoint was -5, and I started here, I had to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'd say equals 4. Okay, so what's the distance you go to get to the midpoint? Number 14, we're solving the inequality. All right, you got to make 2 problems again, and remember the second one, you flip this sign and change his, and then you graph them. Same thing on number 15 on the next page. You need to make 2 problems, flip that sign, change his sign, solve for x, and both of them, and graph over here. Number 16. What we'd like to do is evaluate when it's x is -3. So take -3 and plug it in right there. Okay, and solve the function. And now coming up on the last 2 problems, this is actually the end, and they are bonus. Graph each function. Okay, graph each one and tell us whether it goes up or down. All right. So that is actually the end of the test. And hope you have a great rest of your day.